Hi there, and welcome to another one of my classic reviews where I pick one of my all-time favourite movies, give it a rewatch and then come review it. And in this video I'm talking about For a Few Dollars More. So For a Few Dollars More is a classic film by Sergio Leone. It comes in the middle of his Dollars trilogy, which began with A Fistful of Dollars and ended with The Good, Bad and the Ugly. And it's once again stars Clint Eastwood as the man with no name, who is one of the coolest characters in all of cinema. So A Few Dollars More is interesting because it really ups the strengths of the first film. The first film, A Fistful of Dollars, was a film that was clearly made with a kind of unrestrained talent that didn't really know what it was doing but was skillful. For A Few Dollars More is more refined and it's more elegant. It's a film that's just made better and just made with more depth and more interesting ideas and better characters. However, it's subsequently then beaten by Sergio Leone's next two films, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly and Once Upon a Time in the West, which are even more refined and even better westerns still. So For a Few Dollars More is a very classic spaghetti western, and it has a lot of tropes here which you find in these sort of movies. In fact, this is a very violent, dark world. In fact, this isn't the friendly Wild West of John Wayne. This is the Wild West where life is hard, where people do kill. And this is a film which is pretty grim. I mean, this is definitely the grimmest of the Dollars trilogy. You have things like rape and murder and violence and beatings, and there's a lot of shootings and a lot of death and a lot of blood. And it's a film which is unrepenting and cruel and harsh, and the world is nothing but just mired in ugly, toxic, terrible machismo and masculinity just gone wild and lawlessness. And it's nothing in this world which is admirable. It's a world where everyone betrays each other, where there's no loyalty, where everyone is just horrible. In fact, I think it's interesting, one of the most noble things in the film turns out to be sort of revenge. It's a film where revenge is a very long-term plan, and the fact that someone plans something so long is quite an endeavour and quite noble, really, considering this is a world where everything is short and life is fleeting and people die all the time. You can never be certain that you're going to survive any given moment. The villain in For a Few Dollars More is barbaric. He is one of the most despicable villains in cinema history. He's cunning and smart and perhaps mad, but also able to control people. I think it's interesting that this is a film about groups. So this is a film about two individuals, the young and the old, teaming up to take him on. But also we have sort of a lot of sequences where we have entire groups, and the editing cuts between a bunch of people. It unifies groups, it unifies criminals. All these people are individuals, so they all get their own time to breathe on screen, but they're all one group of nasty people. And I think it's kind of an interesting way the society works. I mean, it's interesting that this is a film which makes bounty hunters appear to be good people. Just because the world they're in is even worse than they are, they're by definition the good guys. And it's quite ironic because they're bounty hunters who work outside the law, essentially. There's so many technical details here which are fantastic. So the camera work is obviously magnificent, and you have so many fantastically wide shots, both from very far out and also in extreme close-up. And I think the way it cuts between them is fascinating. This is a film which opens and ends with a tiny figure travelling through the landscape. We also have the fantastic music, which is obviously an iconic part of these films, and it's a fantastically memorable score that elevates every single scene. Scenes deliberately overextend and last longer than they need to, just for the music, it seems. And this is about people whose lives were meaningless and were fleeting and were just there to fight and die. And yet the film tells these stories slowly, and the music helps that because the music keeps it going. There's not a single second in this film which isn't fun, isn't engaging. It's a film which, although harsh and nasty and bleak and violent, it's a film which is just awesome. It's a film that is just badass. It is just a genre piece that's not there to be analysed, it's not there to be complex, it's just there to deliver thrills, and it delivers them plenty. It delivers so many thrills and so many fun moments. It's a film which is stylish and iconic and charismatic and just cool. It is just oozing style. It's a film which is just very, very good to rewatch and go back to because you always get something out of it, and it passes by. It doesn't feel as long as it does, even though it's a film which is both relatively long and also quite slow in parts. So A Few Dollars More was clearly made outside the Hollywood system, and so it just doesn't have necessarily the professionalism of those movies. It feels like it was all made on instinct. It feels perhaps a little amateur, but it is made with skill and talent that is unquestionable. And I think For a Few Dollars More is just a western masterpiece. It's a fantastic film that I thoroughly recommend, and I think it's an obvious classic. Have you seen For a Few Dollars More? If you have, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave me a comment. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to watch more of my reviews. If you want to read more reviews, you can follow me on Letterboxd or on Twitter, links in the description. And thank you for watching.